Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Long-Witted Pals podcast with Zipp and Cam. I'm Zoe Bell-Kanapaux. I am a 22-year-old author and audiobook narrator, and I am joined by my lovely host, Cameron.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I don't have nearly as many tags under my name.
Podcast host!
Well, co-podcast host, but not like author or writer or local celebrity.
Oh my god.
You get recognized around town. That is a local celebrity in my eyes.
Not this again.
What do you mean, not this again?
I act like my life is so tortured.
Oh no, I get recognized.
Not all the time. Not
like every time we go out, but definitely most of the time.
Yeah.
You do get recognized.
Yeah.
And I only say most of the time because we don't go out that often.
No, I don't leave the house very often.
We go out maybe once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there was a blue moon recently.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I was gonna say, we only, really go out to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I don't even like doing that.
Yeah.
And it'll just be me.
Yeah.
Because I get so stressed in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I pick the best time when everyone and their cousins shopping.
Yeah.
And you just, there's no room for shopping carts. And then since when I was doing OGP, the online grocery pickup at Walmart, I cannot shop in a Walmart at a normal speed anymore because I know how to shop Walmart. Mm-hmm. So it's just let me get in and out as quick as possible.
Well, and I was also gonna say, there's always those old farts who fucking put their cart perpendicular to the fucking line. Or to the aisle.
Yeah, and then I look like a weirdo because I'm walking my cart sideways like one of the OGP carts because I'm just strong enough to just lift up the back end of the straight wheels and then just use the two front steering wheel ones. That way you can make it go sideways. Mm-hmm. Because, I'm getting around those old farts. Dude. There are a lot of old farts around in the area. Yeah. It's a retirement community.
Well, they're very unaware of their surroundings, and that's the issue.
They're unaware of their surroundings, and they ain't got shit else to do that day. So they're just looking at the shelf.
I know your grandpa doesn't do that.
No. It's not. He's not going into the store and looking at the wall of peanut butter and being like, "Oh, what peanut butter do I like?"
He knows exactly what he wants.
You know you're gonna go for Jif. If you go for anything else, or however you pronounce it, the one with the J.
It's Jif.
I think it's Jif.
It's always been Jif.
Okay.
It's just the conversation about, is it a GIF or a JIF?
Yeah, okay.
That's changed people. They call it GIF peanut butter. No.
Okay.
It was never GIF until the fucking little moving picture.
Yeah. Okay, then it is Jif. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had Peter Pan peanut butter. Have you ever had that?
I don't like it. You wouldn't like it.
The only time I've ever seen it, notably in store, I guess, is the crunchy peanut butter, the crunchy Peter Pan peanut butter,
so
and I'm
gross.
If you
Even
crunchy peanut butter,
it's super fucking sweet.
Is it?
Yes.
I prefer either the Great Value or Jif.
Yeah.
Only because they don't put a lot of sugar into it. And then I'm already putting jelly on top of it, so it's not like I need my peanut butter to be the sweetest peanut butter ever.
Ooh, or do you like bananas?
Yeah, I like bananas.
You really might like a toasted peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Oh, the Elvis?
No. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he had a marshmallow fluff.
No, I'm pretty sure it was banana and peanut butter.
Whatever. But it's very good when you toast the bread first, and then you put, the little, layer of peanut butter, and then you put a sliced banana on top. And some people do, thin layers of peanut butter on both sides. I'm of the opinion I like it on just one side.
Have you ever seen those sickos that cut bananas long ways?
It's going for a banana split.
They're like pickle spears. It's like, why are you doing that to the banana?
That's so weird.
It's a coin. You cut them like a coin.
You cut them like you would eat them.
Yeah, like
basically.
a coin. Yeah.
Oh, but I was gonna say, like, your grandpa would never do that shopping cart bullshit, because he would be going to the store and he would be like, I want to get in and out of this motherfucker. He probably wouldn't say motherfucker, but
yeah.
I want to get in and out of here. And then my grandpa would be like, huh, I've never seen this brand of cucumber before. Like, he would be meandering, like...
your grandfather also has...
nothing better to do.
No agenda.
Yeah.
That is the difference between West Coast and East Coast living.
Yeah.
That is the true definition. Because Joe Rogan's gone over it a lot, where your East Coast people, they have to front, like, these crazy freezing conditions, and, like, either you're freezing or you're stormed on in the southern part. So, and then also those people have been there since colonizing.
Yeah.
So they have this mindset of, hey, we gotta get this shit wrapped up. And then your grandfather's living in California on the coast where there's no bad weather other than, like, rain. And then when it rains, they freak the fuck out.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Well, yeah, but, like, but if you ever see, like, any Californian, they're like, the potholes are flooding! Yeah, that's what happens when it rains.
Yeah, he's of the mindset that, like, he's a step above every single person that lives in California. But living in Texas for the last, like, 10 years, it's like, dude, you're such a pussy. I love my grandfather. I love him very much. But some of the shit that he complains about, it's like, put your fucking undies on and go deal with it. Put the fucking tighty-whities on. Put your fucking pants on. And go to the problem head on.
Well, I mean, lucky for him, he doesn't have, like, that many problems.
No, not really. They're all, like, personal.
Yeah, so it's not like... It's not like problems like he's not paying, like, taxes on time. It's like,
no,
I waited until July to get my taxes paid, even though the shutoff is in April. Nah, it ain't stupid shit like that. It's just, like, personal stuff.
Oh, I forgot to get an oil change on one of my 10 cars. It's like, oh, that's fantastic that you have 10 cars, Grandpa. What about when my mom and I were homeless in our car? That was a Pontiac G6 with no AC. Like, come on. My grandpa has a lot of money, but, well, not like... I don't want to be one of those people that's like, I'm not rich, I'm just upper middle class. He's very wealthy. Especially he lives in California. He's able to afford that lifestyle without worry. And he never helped my mom. So, it's like... okay, yeah, you go live your rich lifestyle.
But to preface it, it wasn't out of, like, spite that he didn't want to help her, and it wasn't out of, she fucked up on her own for him to be like, okay, we need to, like, distance ourselves a bit.
Yeah, I can kind of... I go back and forth about it, because I'm like, dude...
yeah... Looking back, it's like okay, you should have helped.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like how can I? Because I know that if I give you this money, you may or may not do the correct thing with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I give it to you, the worst outcome is worse than me not giving it to you.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just not give it to you at all, and y'all suffer. But y'all are gonna suffer and not be at a worse state or in a worse situation because I did give you that money.
And, you know, my life really sucked growing up. Like, I've mentioned that, like, we were homeless at times, and, you know, I went through a lot of abuse, and I'm not thankful for it at all. You should never have to feel an obligation to be thankful for abuse that you went through. But it did carve out a very specialized work ethic.
Yeah.
And I always think that, like, because...
superheroes are made out of dead parents and tragic backstories. There's no good superhero with, like, happy parents.
Yeah.
So.
And I think my work ethic sucks. I always think that, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's because my mom pounded it in my head, like, if you're not working 3 jobs and doing blah, 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 and raising 4 kids, but it's like, I don't have 4 children.
No, that was her life. And that's her fuck-ups for 3 jobs. It's like, you should have done...
In 2010.
Yeah, it's like, you should have done something better.
When the economy was great, our rent was $700 for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Well, there's also money that was unaccounted for in your eyes. And what the hell was she buying? You know?
And
so that's why I say, if your grandfather would have given her that money, it'd have just disappeared too.
Yeah, and I don't blame him for that. So, it's very hard when your child has alcoholism issues, which it's another thing that I'm coming to terms with, that, like, my mom always rejected the claim that she was an alcoholic, but then again, like, she would piss herself all drunk and be, like, laying on the kitchen floor, and I've spoken about this on a different podcast, but, like, taking a knife to her stomach, trying to cut it open, because she was in so much pain, because her liver was all fucked up because she couldn't stop drinking. And, like, I think about those times, like, yes, she was sober while I was a late teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She was sober while I was a late teenager. Like, once I was 16, she was sober. But before then, there were many, many times where she would be, like, sneaking drinks while my stepfather of the 6-year time frame... because I did have 3 different stepfathers. My mom was married to a man who we've always presumed is my father, may not be. And then she got married 3 other times after that. So, you know, sneaking drinks while they were at work, or, you know, just doing all this fucking nefarious shit. And it's like, dude. Or I remember distinctly this one time, we were living in Portland at this time, and she bought a handle from the Spankies that was down the street, and she drank enough so it looked like the old handle that was left.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, 'cause I saw the fucking trash, and then I found a fucking crack pipe at that house too.
Do you know it was hers?
I don't know if it was hers or my stepfather's. But, and for the people who aren't aware, some of my stepfathers have had drug addiction issues, but this was when I was like 12, so, you know, she kept saying that it was his, but then again it was like, dude, you've told me that you've tried crack. Like, you told me you tried crack. Maybe, she told that to me when I was like 10.
Maybe that's one of those name things. If
oh
I'm
my
Stephanie,
God.
I gotta try crack.
No, because that shit was so funny.
Dude, that was too funny.
That was so fucking funny. It's not funny.
You're a crackhead.
It's not at all funny to be doing those sort of drugs. They are very harmful to you. Your life will go down the drain. Like, it's very difficult once you're addicted to those drugs. It is very difficult to break out. I have known many people who have tried crack, and then they're like, I fucking love this drug. Like, this is the wonder drug of my life. And it takes them years to get back to even, like, 10 steps down from where they were. Like, they had a family, and now they're living in a studio apartment that they can't afford. They're a month away from an eviction because they're 2 months behind on their rent. You know, it's very difficult. And this is just from, like, my own personal experience. I've known multiple people like that. And, I never known someone that flaunted it, though.
Dude, for real.
Like, I never known someone that well, I had known my mother.
Just during a pool conversation.
Yeah. I had known my own mother. And my own mother had sometimes flaunted it to be like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it was like, yeah, you're on drugs right now. But the other person was not currently on drugs. And then they were like, yeah, I used to take the cocaine and I would put it in in a tinfoil, and I would smoke it, and I was like, you were doing crack. You were doing crack. You were doing an 8-ball of crack. Like,
yup. Straight up.
And it was just like, what the fuck,
and
dude?
then the denial afterwards.
No!
It's not crack. No. Yeah.
Yeah, you were doing crack. Like,
that's it. You need to watch some more TikTok or Twitter or something to watch more videos. That's crack.
And then she quieted down, and she was like, yeah, I was doing crack.
Oh my god.
It was like, dude, like, your prerogative, but, like, stop asking me for money. Like,
now you're definitely never gonna get money from me.
First of all, these things, I've watched many people overdose, so, like, I laugh about it, and I've had my own struggles with drug use, but it's not funny. It's not funny. Especially when you have children in the house that are looking at you overdosing. I wrote about it in the Axe Forgets What the True Remembers. My stepdad, he overdosed on the kitchen floor. And he didn't die, but he did almost die. And my mom got arrested that night because they had a no contact order. And I called 911 and I called my mom because he needed CPR. And I couldn't do CPR because I was 11.
Yeah.
And so my mom came from, like, down the street. She was, she, like, counted out the 50 fucking feet. And she, like, ran down the street. And she'd been sleeping in the truck. So she ran down the street. She started doing CPR. And because there was the no contact order on that, like, radar, like, she had just gotten arrested, and she was just bailed out, the police and the ambulance came, and she got arrested again, so it was like, what can you fucking do? Yeah. But
that's like this, video I saw, I've seen this from a while ago, but, this fire truck, engineer was being arrested because they had parked the truck diagonally across 2 lanes, on a highway, and there was I think it was a 2-car collision or something like that, and the fire department, since they're all paramedics, whenever you're a firefighter, you are an EMT or something like that. I don't know what the official term is, but you're the one that has to do the life-saving.
yeah.
Because police officers aren't trained in that.
No.
All they can do is just...
Police officers get, like, no training.
No.
In the grand scope of things, a doctor gets more than 8 years of training. Yeah. A police officer gets 8 seconds of training. And that's a big fucking issue. Like, you should know how to perform CPR.
Yeah.
At the minimum. You should know how to perform CPR. And I get why people don't like cops. I don't like cops. But, yeah, that's fucking crazy that they can't do that.
Yeah.
That they're not trained to do any of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're not trained to do that. So
they got arrested for double parking or whatever?
Yeah, so they arrested the engineer because he didn't move the fire engine when the officer told him to move it. And once you're in lead of the...
Get off of your phone.
Miss Bell.
What?
Once you're in lead of the situation, then you take over, right?
Yeah.
So the cops don't get to tell you, hey, move your fire truck because you're doing CPR. You can't move that person.
No.
So there's no moving, hey, move the truck. Even if you're not doing CPR personally, you still got to protect your other firemen. So they arrested him anyways, and another one of the fire crew had to call 911 and was like, yo, y'all's trooper is arresting my engineer. Y'all better send y'all's chief down here.
Yeah.
Because what the hell's going on? And I think that deputy that officer ended up getting like probation or something like that because it was like, well, what the hell what power trip are you on? Like,
so many cops have this like weird little fucking power trip that they do
over the fire department.
No, I was just saying, like, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it pisses me off. Like, I've had a lot of fucking run-ins with law enforcement, right?
Make it sound like you're a crook.
No, but our moms happen to be. My mom got arrested a lot.
Oh, yeah?
A lot. Like, there were multiple times where... Because I've told you the story about when Doug... I was at Doug's house for the weekend, and he drove us back, and we had a great time at Doug's house. Like, I remember this gigantic house. Of course, I was like 4 or 5, right? So... all of Doug's family was there, and they were really kind. And his sister Ryan was always, like, really cool to me. She was, like, an older sister. So, like, we had so much fun, and then we came home, and my mom was getting arrested for domestic violence. So, Doug came in and made us brown and serves and eggs with ketchup. And, like, he worked to make the day better.
Good guy, Doug.
Yeah, he's great. I love Doug.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him.
Yes, I hope he can make it.
I hope so, too.
I really hope he can make it. Because, I don't know, I always miss Doug so much. And then I don't tell him. I'm like, man, I miss Doug. Then I don't say anything. Because I feel like a burden.
Oh, well, you know, he's got his own family in OKC, so...
Yeah.
So and then also, what doesn't help is that he's a manager of a department. So they need him for X amount of days and X times. And then on top of my schedule and then the 2-hour drive, it's kind of hard to line up a time to either, like, for him to come over or for us to meet up or...
Well, I'm excited to go over there for Thanksgiving.
Me too. That one we're definitely going for.
Yeah. And then we also will see him in February. For a week, he'll be here.
Oh, right. Because they're opening...
Well, they announced it, we can say. They're opening
the Winco here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he can come crash or whatever.
I think he will end up with a hotel. He likes his space,
I was about to say, whenever you travel to open a store, you're getting per diem and a hotel.
Yeah.
So, he'll be fine in his hotel.
Yeah. But he'll be coming.
But I was gonna say he can definitely come chill for dinner or whatnot because I know that it sucks to eat alone.
Yeah, definitely.
So dinner with Doug.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited. What?
I don't know. What are you excited for?
I'm also excited because I just announced the release date for Double Feature.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, October 30th. Yup. Okay,
Dang,
so...
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I know. Well, I'm sending it to the editor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in like 3 weeks. So, I've been talking about Double Feature, but I haven't really explained exactly what it is. Yes, I have. That's a lie. But I haven't given the back cover synopsis of Double Feature, right? So, listen up and listen good.
Now, this is the unofficial official one?
This is official.
Of now? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I made it official.
Fair enough.
A trip to the movies turns feral when 10 individuals are trapped within the auditoriums. An apocalypse caused by corporate greed leaves 6 children, 2 theater workers, a couple, and a mortician left scrambling to figure out how to survive off stale popcorn and candy bars. How much of the world is left? What can be done to prolong their lives? Why are things so eerie within the concrete walls of the picture house? Find out in Double Feature. Boom.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Why are you using my eye mask?
Oh, you know.
I feel like I'm gonna get pink eye now.
That's not how you get pink eye.
Yeah, but your bacteria from your eye is gonna go to my eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with that. Anyway, once I send the book off to the editors, I am going to be working on the audiobook, right? And I'm going to get the audiobook for that done before the Axe Forgets of the True Remembers, because that's 2 years fucking late. So, who gives a fuck, you know? What?
Yeah.
And then there will be pre-orders available on my Ko-fi. So, the ebook pre-orders will be available on Amazon, but if you want an autographed copy, you will be able to get it on my Ko-fi, which is linked down below. If not, it's linked in my link tree. If you go to my Instagram at Zoe Writes Books, you'll be able to find it there. I'm so excited about it. I think it's my best piece of writing yet. And I mean, I read that synopsis to you. Oh, by the time you're watching this on YouTube, there will be chapter 1 available on my Ko-fi as well. So, if you're watching this on Ko-fi, though, sorry, you're out of luck. You gotta wait till Friday. But, yeah, I'm so excited about it. I think it's my best piece of writing. And you really liked the chapter that I read to you.
I did. I really did.
You were like, I was reading it, like, really monotone. Like, blah, 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 and you were still like, wow.
Wow.
And
Wilson.
Cameron is notoriously awful at reactions. Like, if you get him a Christmas present, he's gonna be like, wow, this is great. And you know that he loves it, right? But it's still like, the fuck, dude? You know? And this is not just me saying that. This is everyone I've ever known that also knows you.
Yeah.
That is their, like, yeah, no, he likes it. You'll see him playing with it. Whatever you get him, if you get him Legos, he's gonna play with them immediately. Whatever you get him, he's gonna wear. Like,
yep.
But he's just gonna be like, wow, thanks. Like,
I don't like big reactions.
You don't like giving big reactions.
I don't know how to do a big reaction, without it seeming forced or awkward to myself, so I'm just not gonna, like, be like, whoa!
Because Cameron's autistic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just, like, that's not me.
No fucking way!
Yeah, I feel like I come across corny, or, like, it's very forced, so I'm just like, I'm not gonna force anything.
Dude.
Like, I'm just like, oh, cool.
In the times where times were good, and we could, like, get Christmas presents, I would give my mom a list of exactly what I wanted and the price next to it.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, okay, I wanted a Rainbow Loom set really bad in 2013, right? Because that was, like, a big craze. On YouTube, like, people were making these crazy fucking Rainbow Loom sets with the loom. And so I put it, and it was $10 at the time. I remember because I put it Target and Walmart, right? I'm that fucking neurotic. You know I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put the big fucking bag, or the big, like, circular tin of rubber bands, and that was $5 at both places. I think it was, like, $5.65 at Walmart and, like, $5 on sale at Target. She got me the rubber bands.
Just the rubber bands.
No fucking lube. Like, I am so specific with things that I want, because it's like, here, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I want this exact shirt in this size. I want a cake for my birthday, like an old school Walmart sheet cake with the balloons piped on. Like, I make it very easy, I think. I want a candle that's cinnamon swirl scented. Figure it out. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
You definitely do, you know what you want.
Yeah.
When you do know.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't really have any wants right now.
Yeah.
But when I do have wants, I'm like, I want this shirt that I've been looking at. It's a silly little t-shirt. I want that in a size 2X with this pair of jeans in a size, whatever fucking size I am at that time.
Or whatever fucking brand, and whatever they decide is what size is what.
Yeah. And then I want yarn, this color, and this color. I want a new crochet hook, only in this size. I only use a 6mm. Every project is 6mm. I don't give a fuck about what everybody... Like, I don't care. I am very, very stringent with what I like to do. I have specific sheets that I like. I am very...
particular.
I'm very particular, and that's fine. I only really like to drink Dr. Pepper. Like, I drink water, obviously. My favorite drink in the world is Dr. Pepper. If I'm going out to a place, I'm getting a Dr. Pepper. That's just, like, my safe drink, you know?
Oh my god, like that Reddit story of the lady that went and got the ranch from out of the restaurant.
Oh my god. Okay, so, for those that don't know, I may just pull up the Reddit story right now. So, it looks like the post was taken down from Reddit because the user's account was suspended. But
Dang.
this story was cross-posted from Am I the Asshole to Am I the Devil? And it was basically like this guy and this girl go on this first date, and it's to a restaurant that's a little bit, like, high class. They offer, like, elevated food. Like, you don't go to this restaurant and get chicken tenders, you know what I mean? Like, they have, like, a chicken bolognese or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the date is like, do you have ranch? And the waiter says, no, we don't have any ranch. She gets up from the table and goes down the street to buy ranch and bring it in. And she just left her date there the whole time.
Yeah, and then the waitress came over and was like, there's no outside food.
Yeah.
But she just wanted her ranch.
But here's the thing. I'm already fucking scoping out where I'm eating.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Before we figure out where we're gonna go, we're checking the menus on Facebook and Google, and
Exactly.
so I need to know exactly what they got before I even go plop my butt into in their booths.
But point being, I would never, like, do that, because I would research the restaurant that I'm going to first, and if they don't have something that I might like, I probably would suggest somewhere else, right? But I am a very specific person in what I like, and what I like to do, and, like, I play Minecraft every day. If I don't play Minecraft a little bit every day, I start to lose my fucking marbles. If I don't get enough writing done, I beat myself up over it. Like, all of my clothes are pretty similar. Like, everything is the same.
I like what I like.
Yes, I like what I like. And I like knowing what I like. I like that I'm not meandering through life trying to figure out what feels good. I know what I like. Now adjust. Like, and it's not like I'm being, like, wild or something. Like, I like getting my feet washed for 30 minutes per night. Like, some people are like that. You know?
It's Minecraft and writing.
Yeah, Minecraft, writing, and Dr. Pepper. Like, I'm pretty good. But, yeah. So, I'm really specific about my life, and I love that. And it's maybe a trauma response. I don't know, but
no, I think you're just autistic and you know what you like, and those are some of your favorite things.
Yeah.
You're like, I just really like this.
Yeah. Another thing I'm coming to terms with.
It's a hyperfixation that you're on right now. Not the Dr. Pepper, that's more like a lifeblood thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, Dr. Pepper is
really
one of the
good.
best drinks out there.
Yeah. Another thing I'm coming to terms with is I've had this weird grief for Aaron, who's my stepfather.
Really?
Passed away. Yeah.
You hadn't told me about this.
I know. I couldn't quite pin down what these feelings were because Aaron and I did not get along when he was alive. Like, it was very difficult. It was almost like a struggle for power in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, I was so happy. I've always been really happy when it's just been my mom, my brother, and I. But my brother was living in Oklahoma, so I was like, I knew it was going to be my mom and I. And I was so excited. Like, those times were the best times. And anybody who's had parents who have been divorced, like, multiple times over, you probably, maybe, I don't know, have that feeling with, like, one of your parents, you know, where it's like, fuck yeah, I get to have my mom back, or I get to have my dad back. And my mom had this feeling with her dad, when her dad got divorced. So, like, I don't think it's entirely uncommon, but I'm not sure if that's, like, the general consensus of feelings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can relate to this because your parents were married for your whole life and then they got divorced when you were already an adult.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what it was like to have, like, mom before marriage, dad before marriage.
Yeah.
And then, But I was so excited. And then once her divorce was finalized, she got married a month later. Or she got married the month that her divorce was finalized. To this guy that she had been, like, seriously dating, quote unquote, for a month. And I was so fucking pissed. I was like, why? You don't know this guy. You think you do. You think you do. You think he knows you. But you've been this kind lady for the last 3 months. You're not kind at all.
Yeah.
Like, wait until the fucking talons come out. And it was on both sides. Like, when you're new in a relationship, this is just normal. When you're new in a relationship, you're maybe not going to show how rank your farts are, You might get up from the table. You might go to the bathroom. You're always gonna be on your P's and Q's because you want to impress this person, right? And I feel like both of these people were not ready to get married. And that was just because of, like, what they had both confided in me. Because there were times where Aaron would confide certain things to me because he wanted me to like him very badly. At the very beginning, he wanted me to like him very badly. And I would wake up to, like, presents on my bed next to me, and later those turned into dog shit on my fucking bed. I would wake up to, like, nice messages, which later turned into writing on my college acceptance letters. Horrible fucking things. And it was just, like, two people who are not in the best place getting married can either bring them up into a better place or it can push them down into a worse place than they were before. And I think that's what happened. And I think that's pretty obvious to anybody who saw that, is that they both brought out really negative features of each other. And, like, I don't think either person was necessarily awful to the general population. But neither of them were super particularly nice to me during, like, my adolescence and my, like, growing up. And I had remembered this one time. I had told him about my manager who raped me in the Dairy Queen. I told him about it because I came in and I was crying really loud. And he walked me to work the next day, and he went to the general manager, and he flashed his fucking gun, and he said, if anything ever happens to her, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Do you understand me? And it's like, I didn't want that, but it was like, I could tell he cared.
Yeah, in his own fucked up way, yeah.
Like, I told him about it, and my mom wasn't really around too much because she was working for CPS at the time, and so, like, he was my pseudo-parent that was there.
Yeah.
And he cared in a way that he didn't know how to properly show.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was an awful person. I don't. But I did have those feelings when everything happened. And it was very complex. It was a very complex situation. And I got a death threat or two from certain people, but, like, I've been having these weird feelings about it. And it feels like grieving, but it feels like grieving a friend, not a parent. You know what I mean? Like, I've had friends die on me, and it's not great. But it's different than grieving a parent. And that's what it feels like, is a year and some fucking change later, I'm finally confronting these feelings that I've had for so long, but it felt wrong because of what happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just getting...
What I think it is just you're human, and it's another human that died.
Yeah.
That you had I wouldn't say a close relationship with, but you did live under the same roof with that person. And it's still, this person doesn't exist anymore. or on the speaking plane at least.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's weird. There's an absence.
And I feel like there was this weird bond between him and I. Because...
Which, yeah, because it's still... It still was your stepfather that was married to your mother for whatever X amount of time.
Like 5 years.
Yeah. So... There was still the relationship there. You weren't there the entire time he was there with your mother.
Yeah.
And... For better or worse... Probably better. But, I can't really form an opinion on it because anything I've ever heard about him, it points towards straight evil. And he's a sick and twisted bastard from everything you've ever told me about him. That I've never heard anything good about him, or that he wasn't a lazy stick in the mud with every fucking drug problem under the sun.
But here's the thing, is that you heard it from me and you heard it from my mom, and my mom is not a reliable source for any sort of thing.
Right, but anytime I was ever around him and had conversation around him, it felt weird to me because he was either being a creep or...
He was very standoffish all the time.
Exactly, and it's like a chill the fuck out, weirdo.
Yeah, I think that, and this has happened multiple times, and I realize, of course, years later, that not everything that my mom said was true, right? Because in the moment, you really want to believe someone. You really want to believe that, like, everything that this person is saying is true and that they're going through these awful things. And it's like, of course, I heard some of the things that happened. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I walked in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And my mom started so many fights all the time. With me, with Aaron, with Andrew.
Well, it's difficult to
it's difficult
to figure out what a liar is telling you.
Yeah.
A known liar.
Yeah.
That you can't really trust 100% of the time.
No.
So at this point, you make your own opinion. He's not here to give a shit about that opinion of him. Any of his family can fuck off and is not around. They weren't around him when he was alive, and he wasn't around them. So it's okay to have your own opinion on him. I get the grieving, because like I said, you still lived with the person.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not evil. You have a heart. You grieve for people. You still have the empathy.
Yeah.
It's an empathetic grieving. You're not grieving because you're not grieving because you loved him or anything like that.
But I think
you're
I
grieving.
did.
You're
I
grieving
think I did.
because you're just because it's Billy, you're ruining the audio.
Him and I had a bond, and it was like him and I against my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, he was working for the very beginning of their relationship. He was always working, because he worked at Kiewit, right?
Yeah.
And so, or he was working at Academy, then he got a job at Kiewit.
Yeah.
So, I was working too. I was going to school. But she always expected more from us. Like, what am I supposed to do with the 2 hours left of the day that I have? You know, I can't even get my fucking homework done. Like, what else am I supposed to do?
Yeah. It's like, I get 4 hours of sleep.
And, like, it always worked out that he cooked, I did the dishes, and then my mom would come home and make some fucking bullshit, like, thing of brownies, and she would go yell and scream at me, and she would scream at him for not making them, right? She was like, I have to do everything around here. He's like, well, you could have just told me you wanted brownies, right? And everything would have been handled. The dishes would have been done by the time he got home. There would have been brownies ready to fucking eat. Like, she would wake us both up and scream at us like we were children. Like, we were, like, 7 and 8-year-olds, like, which I don't think you should scream at any fucking child, but it was shit like that all the time, where it's like, you didn't tell us this is what you wanted, and it's not a weaponized incompetence thing, because, like, the house was always clean because we were doing it. Like, you didn't tell us that you wanted to go out to dinner tonight. How are we supposed to know? You didn't tell us that you had a really, really difficult day. And she was like, well, you should assume all days are difficult. So it's like walking on eggshells around her, not wanting to be around her, and then the next day it's like, why the fuck isn't anybody talking to me? So it was just like that sort of back and forth, never knowing what to expect. And it was taken out on both of us. And it's obviously a different dynamic because he was her spouse and I was her child. But it was almost like she was just pissed off at us about the same exact things every single day. Billy finally sat, but she was just always mad at us about the same thing every single day. Like, I don't mean the same exact thing, but like event A, she would be mad at both of us for event A. Or event B, she would be mad at us for event B, you know? And it was just really, really difficult. And of course, being near my mother is an incredibly isolating experience. Incredibly. Like, you're not allowed to have friends. The friends that I did have over, they were like, wow, your mom's a fucking nightmare. It's like, yeah, no shit. And they didn't want to come over again. Like, that was my whole, like, growing up, and I know you can relate to that. But, you know, it's a very isolating experience, and it's filled with these ultimatums all the time. Like, you think that it's, like, a start of something, and you're working very hard to make sure that the relationship is panning out the way it should be, and it's like all this behind-the-scenes movement. You're cleaning the house constantly. You're trying to figure out what color she wants the cabinets, because we were constantly renovating this fucking house. And so one weekend, I remember Erin and I sanded down the cabinets and painted them the color that she had chosen. And she had written it all down in this binder, and so we had gotten it, but she didn't like the way that the light landed on it. And instead of just saying that, because I saw the text messages, because she left her phone and then she got sepsis and stuff, and I was trying to figure out where she was. I saw the text messages of, I just didn't like the way the light falls. What do you think? She blamed us for using the wrong color. So, like, she didn't like it, and she didn't want it to be her fault that we had done so much work, and that she just didn't like it, so she was going to tell us to take it all down and re-prep and re-sand and re-prime and paint again. So she made it out like it was our fault. And then when you give her proof, like, she always fucking hated this. When she would make a decision about, like, certain things, she would say it in a text because she was like, everybody always goes back on their word. She would hate when you would send a screenshot of that text of her saying exactly what she wanted. Mm-hmm. And she did this to so many people. You can ask anybody. You can ask anybody. She did this to so many people.
Don't ask me. It never happened to me.
Yeah, but you didn't text her.
No, I never text her.
I didn't let that happen. Because that would have been more fucking bullshit. And she would I
didn't want her phone number.
Yeah.
Why would I want your mom's phone number? I was dating you.
Well, it was just shit like that all the time. And that sort of built a bond, and of course, with that going on, I was getting mean, and I was falling into, like, drugs to try to cope with everything, and my mom was getting really fucking mean. Like, really fucking mean. Every day was a new comment about my weight, about his weight, about, like, all of this fucking shit. Like, God forbid he grew a little bit of hair, you know? Like, God forbid he grew his hair out an inch too long, it was a fucking problem. But God forbid he went and spent money on a haircut. If he did it himself, it looked like shit. Not that it looked like shit, but, that's what she would say.
That's what she would say.
There was no winning. There was never a win in the house. Except for Andrew. I can't believe you lied about that.
I still wonder where he got the Chinese food.
Me too. But, yeah, so it was like a never-ending cycle of, like, constant disappointment in us, and we just felt awful. And then, like I said, it was an isolating experience. She didn't like any of his family, so she didn't want him to talk to any of his family. And I've tried to make it abundantly clear that you can do whatever you want, right? Because I don't want you to ever feel like I say you can't do something. I mean, I'm always going to tell you, don't do drugs, you shouldn't be drinking, like, I don't want you to drink or do drugs or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't like drinking.
Yeah, but now you take medication, that can really fuck you up. Like, you're not at all supposed to drink on it.
Oh, yeah.
People say, we take Lexapro, both of us take Lexapro. So, people say, when you take Lexapro, it's like drinking 4 drinks instead of 2. That's not a good thing. Like, you're just not supposed to drink on it. That's one of the warnings, is like, don't drink on Lexapro. And I've always said, I would rather feel this, like, mid-level happiness than be drunk. I don't like being drunk,
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, it's a lot easier to manage these feelings that I have. So, like, of course, at the end of the day, if you want to have a drink, you can. But you know that I won't like it. Right? Because I know that certain things aren't good for you. I don't want you to cry or be so upset or, have all of these feelings that you don't know how to express and you're just so frustrated beyond belief. I don't want to see that anymore. And I told you that. And I never want you to feel like you're not allowed to talk to people because you are. That's not a rule that we have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am going to tell you, like, this is heartbreak for no reason. And these are the same things that a therapist would tell you. Like, why? If it hurts to talk to them, why are you talking to them? You don't have to. And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, like, if you make a choice to do something, I will support you. And you know that. You know that.
Like the topic that you wrote down, that I want nightmares. So I don't...
Wait.
What?
There's something that I wrote down before leading up to that.
Yeah, but it doesn't... I'm gonna go ahead and go into mine first.
Okay, you go ahead.
Because you've been talking. Anyways.
Oh, sorry. Shut up.
I'm just saying, we're
Cameron, stop touching the sticky note so we can continue. Go ahead about your nightmares. You don't have any, sorry. Go ahead about your non-existent nightmares.
My non-existing dreams / non-existing nightmares. You keep telling me that you, keep getting nightmares.
Yeah.
So the other night, I was like,
I didn't know you were doing this.
What? Oh, well, no. So the other night, I was like, what if... I asked you, what if I just started to, like, purposely start to scare myself before I went to bed?
I thought you had actually done it.
No. I haven't done. There's nothing that, like, terrifies me before I... Like, there's nothing that, like, truly terrifies me anymore. Yeah. Like, I used to be scared of Halloween stores. Wouldn't fucking go into them. Would not go into them. Right? Refused to watch scary movies.
Dude,
but now
Halloween stores were so scary.
But now I'm like, whatever. I'll go ahead and watch this.
You're like, I'm a 22-year-old man.
It's not even that, because honestly, I never watched horror movies until I started dating you.
Yeah.
So, like, and you know that because, well, like, the only ones that I watched previously were, like, Nightmare Before or Nightmare on Elm Street.
I thought you were going to say Nightmare Before Christmas. I was like,
that one's
that's
terrifying.
Not a horror movie.
Terrifying. Bits and pieces of the Aliens movies. I'm only bringing that because it's relevant. Yeah.
Had you ever watched the,
Oh, and all the Saw movies, but those technically aren't horror movies, those are more like, murder porn.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They're body horror.
I forgot what it was called in the 2000s, that it's considered, it's like...
It's not horror, technically.
Yeah, it's not technically horror, it's like gore or something. Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's like a bigger, more drawn-out name than gore.
Yeah.
Gore or something, but... Yeah, so I've been like, I was thinking, what if I try and purposely give myself nightmares? Because I don't dream. And then when I do get dreams, they're like really random, and I know that I'm dreaming, but not to the point where the dream itself wakes me up, or the dream itself recognizes that I'm dreaming, so then it like starts to go after you. You know how like in when you're lucid dreaming,
yes,
if the dream knows that the quote unquote the dream, i.e. your brain, figures out that you're awake and that you're remembering this dream, it'll like try and get you to either fall or something that you're gonna wake up.
Yeah.
Right? I've never had that happen. I can't ever...
Yes, you have.
Okay, but...
When you were a child, and this is why I'm so against this fucking bullshit that you have, you're like, I don't want to have nightmares! Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. Let me be so for real, it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Because I was talking to your dad when we were watching the Insidious movies, and he was like, oh my god, it was like Insidious in the house with Cameron and his sister. Like, they were sleepwalking and sleep-talking, and oh my god, it was scary! You know how awful it is for me to try to sleep? And sure, this may sound a little selfish, but let's be so fucking for real. You being like, I want nightmares! When your wife gets night terrors? Awful.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, you know, I just... Look, if one of the crew is over the side of the ship, I'll jump over the side too. I'll help.
You know what? No. This...
So it's a one for all for one. So if you got night terrors, I want night terrors. That way, when you have terrible sleep, I'll get terrible sleep, and then we can both be like, man, fuck them dreams together.
No. See, he's trying to make it out like some valiant prince.
Well, hold on, because I kind of feel guilty when you're like, I couldn't sleep last night. I had sleep terrors, and I'm over here like, oh, I passed the fuck out, and I woke up.
He sounds like one of those little kids who's like, I want braces! One of those little kids that like tries to fake their eye exam so they can get glasses.
This is my mentality about, or this is the same like mental pattern that I have with reacting to gifts. It's the same like, I don't know how to react.
No.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? You're having night terrors. How the hell am I supposed to react? Sorry.
Well, no.
Tough shit. I sleep like a dream.
I wake you up when I have them, when I can finally move, because I get sleep paralysis really bad. When I can finally
also
move.
Another thing I've never had. Kind of want to experience it. I think that's what it is. It's FOMO. I think it's FOMO that I have. I have FOMO on nightmares.
You piss me off so much.
I think that's what it is. I think I have FOMO of nightmares.
You piss me off sometimes. I have borderline insomnia because once I have a night terror, I cannot go back to sleep. No matter what I do, I can sit in a dark room, I can sit in a loud-ass room with fucking TVs blaring and stereos blaring, which is how I fucking grew up. So you would think I could fall asleep pretty easily like that. No. Yeah, it's fucking awful. It's fucking awful. And I see this same fucking guy every time. Like, people are like, I take Benadryl to see the Hat Man. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. I also want to tell every single person that's like, I take Benadryl to see the Hat Man. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Because when I got scarlet fever, and I had to take the fucking, I got scarlet fever because I was neglected as a child. I was 12, and I got scarlet fever because I kept getting strep, and my mom wouldn't take me to the doctor to get antibiotics. So when I finally did get the antibiotics, we found out I was allergic to penicillin, so then I had to go, and I started going into anaphylactic shock, so I got, like, epinephrine, and then later on I got a mega Benadryl, which is just a very high dose of Benadryl in an IV. So, now that you know that backstory.
1 second, you locked...
Poor girlie! I locked her in the closet!
She's like Tom Cruise, stuck in Kyle's closet.
Tyler
Stan.
So anyway, I did start to hallucinate when I got this mega Benadryl dose. Like, my...
Is that like a mega pint?
No, it was a lot of Benadryl in an IV. So typically Benadryl is taken orally in a pill form. That's just for, like, a standard, like, you have a little bit of hives on your wrist from, like, a skin reaction. You put a perfume on, you're allergic to it, you know. It's a localized sort of thing. When your throat starts to close, you don't take Benadryl, you know, so they gave me a mega Benadryl, and that's what they called it, right?
The mega pint.
So, I started to hallucinate. And it may have been due to the scarlet fever. Like, I'm not saying it was necessarily the Benadryl or the scarlet fever, because I don't fucking know. Because I still had it. Because I was only day 2 into my antibiotics. So, I was sitting there with hives all over the palms of my hands and the bottoms of my feet, all over my body. My eyes were puffy and had hives on them. I seriously looked like in a Disney show when someone gets stung by a ton of bees and they're all like puffy and they've got all the prosthetics on them. I looked like that, and I started to hallucinate.
Or like a dog when it eats a bee.
Yes, that's what I looked like.
Or when you bet the house on the ponies. Or when you
eat too much chocolate cake.
And you can't stop yourself.
I started to hallucinate, right? And the same guy that I hallucinated was the same fucking guy for my sleep paralysis.
Damn.
And then I still keep seeing to this fucking day. It's like a colonial guy.
Is it the same one that,
The ghost? Yeah.
Yeah, is it that same guy?
Yeah.
You ever talk to him?
No, because sleep paralysis, I can't move at all. It's, your mind is awake, your body's not. So, like, when you feel like your hand's falling asleep, it's a little bit different than when your body's asleep. Because, like, all of your muscles are relaxed, and your brain sends signals through your body to help ensure that it can repair itself, because that's what sleep is for. It's for repairing your body. It's for aerating your muscles and getting things moving and grooving again. So, that, it makes for you not being able to move very much if you're in sleep paralysis. Now, I move like a fucking alligator in my sleep, like an alligator doing a death roll. Oh my god, we have to talk about that. I'm gonna put a pin in that right now. But
the
dual survival.
Dual survival.
But yeah, so I will get this sleep paralysis, and I'll look in the corner, and first of all, sometimes Gary's blocking him, and I'm like, good boy. Like, I'm sending him a mind message, I'm like, good boy. And sometimes, oh my goodness, the boys are so sweet. They know when I'm freaking out because my eyes will be open, and I'm like, and I'm wiggling my toes, like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, where she's been paralyzed because she's been in that coma for 4 years, so she doesn't move, and she's like, move your toe. That's what I'm doing.
That's you.
Yes. But the
minus
boys,
the foot fetish from Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. He likes nasty feet. He likes
just Uma Thurman's feet, honestly.
It's gross. I'm sorry, man. I had a phobia of feet for so long.
You did!
Yeah. I had to work through that.
You did have a phobia of feet.
It was something about like
is it my feet that was it like what is it called, therapy? Exposure therapy? Yeah. There's just so much, my feet are so ridiculously clown-shaped. You're like, those aren't even real. You just got exposure therapy to my feet.
I think it started when my brother, he was at the middle school, and one of the kids lifted the bleacher seat. He was in the locker room. What are those called? Those type of seats?
Oh, like the bench?
The bench. and they dropped it, and it landed on his foot.
Mm-hmm.
And his foot looked like a fucking, what are those SpongeBob gross-out images called?
Gross-ups?
Yeah, it looked like a gross-up from SpongeBob. Like, it was awful. My mom didn't immediately take him to the doctor, because, why would she?
Yeah.
Like,
it's only...
Lydia!
It's only swelling and getting purple.
It was fucking purple, blue, yellow, green, orange.
God
It
damn.
looked like a fucking sunset on his foot.
He had the whole Skittles.
I have never seen a bigger foot.
That's a lie.
No, it's not. It's not. Andrew had size 13 feet. So imagine.
Damn!
Yeah. It wasn't like he was like a size 8.
Yeah.
No, he had huge fucking feet. He's a tall guy. He's gonna have big feet.
He's just fucking big.
But it was so fucking gross looking. And, of course, he broke his foot. Right? So there's, like, all these fucking issues. And I think it started there. Because I was like, oh! Like,
Made your toes curl?
Yes! It was one of those, like, when I touch your arm a certain way and you're like, I feel the break!
Yeah. I feel the tingle where my arm was broken.
It's so funny.
I don't know if it's, like, a mental thing or if it's, like, an actual thing, but...
I think it's definitely a mental thing, because have you seen that experiment where someone will place one of their arms on the other side of a mirror, and then they'll have a fake arm in front of them? So, this arm...
Well, see, only my left arm tingles when I go over the one bone. So, I don't know, maybe the bone, like, healed, like, extra around that area, so it's, like, fatter, or, I don't know.
Well...
That's all I can think. Or, I know that, like, that area is supposed to be stronger, so, in theory, you should have more calcium in that area. Huh.
How was it healed? Was it healed, like, were you doing a lot of physical therapy, like...
In a cast.
Oh, okay.
I was in pre-K.
Okay.
So, my arm was still definitely multiple. And I was still growing. And obviously... well, it wasn't a break, like, near the growth plate, so... It didn't, like, affect any growth or anything, obviously. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, it was in the center, but... on the top one. I haven't seen, like, a what's it called of it?
An
like,
X-ray?
An X-ray after.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I got an X-ray after. I think they were just like, yeah, that's healed.
Well,
I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a really long time since I broke my arm.
There's some practices in other parts of the world where, like, I saw a video of a woman who sprained her ankle in Peru, and a shaman from, like, this ayahuasca camp was hitting her with a bunch of thorns so that, like, yes, it swelled up, but then it healed way faster than it did before. So, it sends signals to your brain to be like, dude, this is fucked up, we gotta fix it! And then it fixes itself with the sleep and the proper rest and elevation and ice and stuff like that. The rice method.
Yeah, it's like a fire cupping.
Oh, yeah.
It's where you light a candle underneath it, and that negative pressure is helping.
Yeah.
Even though it's hot.
Yeah.
Still helping.
By the way, update on my knee. Not that anybody asked.
Your weenie.
It's doing a lot better. A lot better. It's now... I fucked up my ankle, though, on the treadmill the other day. I was going a little too hard on the treadmill, and I hurt my ankle. But it's okay. It doesn't feel too bad. I'm doing a lot of stretching. I'm fixing it.
Yeah. I haven't heard you complain about your knee in a while.
Yeah.
I also haven't asked you. Well, I feel bad.
On the days that it hurts really bad, because there's still some days where it hurts really bad. That's how it is for me. Like, something will hurt really bad for, like, a week. And then, like, maybe, like, 2 days later, I'll feel it again. And then, like, 2 days later, I'll feel it again. And I'm like, dude, just heal. But I don't get a ton of good sleep. So that's an issue that I'm trying to work on. And I will say...
And we've tried all kinds of methods, either me sleeping with the animals in the other room, so that maybe you need the room to yourself, or like the bed to yourself, that way you can... Because whenever... You normally do your death roll, but when you have the full king-size bed, you do a whole-ass jiu-jitsu match on the mattress. I'll see you with the feet up at the top where your head was.
And I wake up to do that.
I know. I know.
like the cold side of the bed. So when you're not in the bed, I fucking like...
Yeah,
move your blanket off the bed.
You'll shift over to my side of the bed, and then you'll flip, and then
by the time
I haven't seen you sleeping
like
side to side though. That's the one thing I haven't seen.
I have done it multiple times.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've woken up and I'm like, what the fuck? I do wake up and I'm like, where the fuck am I?
There's a lot of times where you're diagonal.
Yes.
Across my side and your side.
And by the way, I'm only 5 feet tall.
Yeah, on a king size mattress, so you can put your arms and legs completely out and not touch any side.
Well, my fingertips do touch, and if I lay my feet like out instead of just like up and down.
This way, the short way though, not the long ways.
No, not at all.
And then if you're diagonal, then more than likely you're not touching the sides.
Yeah. But yeah, I sleep really weird, and I know that doesn't help my like body's healing, but I will say the sleep that I have been getting recently, like the last few days, how it's kind of weird, it has been good.
Yeah.
It's been pretty decent sleep.
That's why I tell you, just
sleep when I can.
Sleep when you can, sleep what your body wants to let you sleep, because it knows best for you, and then also, you don't really have a schedule going on right now. You can write whenever you want to write, so if you want to write at 3 in the morning,
which I
awesome.
do.
Yeah. You know, you can, it's the hour of the witching hour.
Yeah.
You know, so you can draw in all your inspiration from Dark Hawk, Edgar Allan Poe. Is that what he wanted to be called?
I don't know.
It was Dark something. Dark Pain.
My God, don't call
my
me
goth
Edgar.
name. My goth name is Dark Pain.
That's so fucking me, though.
Yeah, it is. You're so Edgar
fucking
Allan Poe.
I am such like a tortured artist.
Yes.
I'm like, Cameron, I don't know what these characters are doing.
You could write the crow, but the cat. And it's Lydia.
Oh my goodness.
And she's just meowing at the door. Meow.
Dude, I think it's so funny.
Nevermore.
She does the same exact thing that I do, where she wakes up and she doesn't know where the fuck she is.
Yes, she's so confused.
She'll be sleeping, because for whatever reason she doesn't want to sleep on the bed, and I know it's probably has to do with her old owner, the awful one.
Yeah.
But it's like, whatever, sleep on the bed, we clean our sheets, we both use separate blankets, so, you know.
Mostly because you're death rolling.
Yeah, there's a lot of bedding on the bed for hair to go.
Yeah.
I also chom our bed, so, you know, whatever. Like, you can judge me all you want, my animals are clean, but...
They get baths.
Yeah, they do. And so, Lydia decides she doesn't want to sleep there, she wants to sleep next to my nightstand. Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize she was doing that for a while. I thought she was just, like, chilling over there. I woke up in the middle of the night. I see her still laying there. I'm like, what are you doing over there on the carpet?
She's just asleep.
I put a dog bed over there, and now it's hers. And so now she sleeps on that bed, but I keep telling her, like, come up here, girly. Because she'll wake up, and I hear her, like, kind of snore purring, and she's like... Like, she's making all these fucking noises.
No, I saw her last night sleeping there, and I was like, "Aw,
she's so pretty."
She is pretty, but I want to like pick her up and put her in the bed. But at the same time, I'm like, "You're already sleeping there. I don't want to move you," because cats are real
finicky.
Yeah, cats are kind of like they want to do their own thing, but at the same time, they really want your approval.
Yeah.
Or / your attention. So it's like. I don't
know.
So she's still really new to us too. Yeah. I know we've had her for what 8 months or 8 months.
8 months.
8 months.
Since
4 months.
April,
yeah, 4 months.
Yeah.
It's the 8th month. That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've had her for actually 4 months yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't want to like force her onto the bed with us because, you know, she's a pretty chill cat.
Yeah.
And then Gary also doesn't... He's not a fan of her sleeping on the bed, but at the same time, he's
not a fan of her in general.
I was about to say, but he also likes napping with her.
He goes over to her...
He's so wishy-washy.
He goes over to her bed in the corner, and he goes and lays with her. And she's like, she doesn't hiss at him.
She doesn't mind. She doesn't. She wants to love everyone. It's just Gary.
Yeah.
Literally just Gary that's beefing with her. And it's not even beef. It's like chicken.
It's one-sided beef.
It's pork.
But it's just like, dude, knock it off. But, yeah, so she sleeps there, and she'll wake up and she'll just be like, meow!
Yeah. Or if she's in the office and napping, she'll come out and be like, meow, meow. Like, who's around?
Fuck?
Who's aware?
Yes.
Who there?
But it's so fucking funny, because she'll wake up and she'll be like, meow! And I'm like, oh my god, yeah. And I go and I make an effort to, like, she sees me, she goes right back to sleep. But if I'm asleep, she's like, meow, 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 meow. And then I'm like, fine, you got me up. What's up, girlie?
And then she's like, oh, okay, cool.
And she's like, she does her little hand stretch thing, and she's like, never mind.
My bad. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Yeah, and I tell her, I'm like, just come over here and cuddle. And then she, like, finally does it at, like, 4 in the morning. Every fucking morning at 4 in the morning.
I think
she comes over and lays down with me.
I think during the winter, she's gonna finally be like, okay, cool, y'all love me in the bed. It's like, yeah, warm our feet. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. All of our animals are so special and lovely, and they all have their own little personalities. And I had to pause because Lydia was trying... Her big fucking thing right now is licking the wall outlet.
Licking the wall outlet?
Yes, I stop her like 10 times a day.
I've never seen her do that.
She just did it.
Mm-mm.
She just did it.
My favorite is watching her drink water or eat food. I just like watching Lydia do whatever Lydia does. Only because she's so, like... She's different.
You know my favorite fucking thing that she does is when she runs and jumps up the door jamb.
Yes! Oh my god. She loves... So we have a hallway in our two-bedroom apartment, and she loves running up and down the walls of our hallway.
She goes on the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
She nearly touches the
She nearly touches the ceiling. I make sure to clip her claws, that way they're not sharp and they're not rubbing on us, because she loves making biscuits on top of us, kneading us, right? Like cats do. And I make sure I'm gonna clip her nails, that way they're blunt enough and she's not gonna stick us. Yeah.
She's not gonna stick in the fucking wall.
Yeah, and that she's not climbing up the thing and gonna stay. Have you ever seen cats climb up trees?
Yeah, and that's why they get stuck.
That's why they get stuck, because their claws are sharp, they climb up the tree, and then they don't know how to get back down.
Yeah, so
I don't want Lydia to be stuck halfway up a door jamb, and I'm mid-phone call, and I'm like, I gotta pause.
Yeah.
Come off the phone call, and I gotta come and uncling her off the wall.
Here's the thing. Our door jambs are like 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah, they're standard doors.
Yeah. She's not getting so high, but she's an agile cat.
Yeah.
She's
also a bigger cat.
Yeah, she's a bigger cat.
She's like
25, 30 pounds.
No, that's a huge animal.
Really?
Yeah, she's maybe 15 pounds. She's not...
She is bigger than both Gary and Billy.
Right. But cats aren't heavy.
Okay.
When we're talking cats they're not as dense.
Yeah.
Lydia looks a lot bigger than she is because of how fluffy she is.
Yeah, she is quite fluffy.
She's very fluffy, and then also when you see her extend herself out, she's very
like 3 feet
extended.
long.
Yeah, she's like 3 feet long. However, one foot of that is
tail,
a leg, and then the other one is leg, and then the rest is tail. Yeah, so she's a very long cat.
Yeah,
but she's not 20, 30 pounds.
Okay.
We're talking like, that's like a small mountain lion or something like that.
Holy shit.
Cats aren't real big. Dogs, on the other hand, do get more muscular. Only because they're dogs.
Yeah. Okay, I'm definitely
But,
wrong.
yeah.
She's probably like 15 pounds.
She's like 15 pounds. Only because I only know that because, like, if you hold both Gary and Billy at the same time, she feels about the same weight as them.
And Gary's like 7 pounds. I used to think he was 15 pounds.
Yeah, he's like 7 pounds, and Billy's around 8 or 9.
Billy's 10.
Yeah.
He was 10 the last time we took him to the vet.
He's pretty muscular.
Yeah.
So, and he hasn't gotten too much bigger since the last
he's
time.
gotten a little bigger, but not too much.
A little bit taller, but not too much.
Yeah.
Not exponentially or anything where it's like, yo, you're a whole head taller than Gary.
Yeah.
It's barely like an inch.
Yeah. But sorry, I had a yawn. Yeah. She loves like chasing after things. She loves this toy that we got her, and it's got some like wire or something to make sure it doesn't break.
Yeah, when we had originally got her, we got one of those
little stick toys.
Yeah, like those fishing pole stick like whip toys, I guess. Where it's just a stick with a string on the end of it and then the toy with a feather.
She fucking loves it.
She loved it. But she loved it so much that
she kept breaking it.
She kept cutting the cord that the toy was hanging on. And I think that one was like $15 for the stick and the setup, right? With the toy on the end of it.
Yeah.
And then we went to PetSmart and we found a $7 one.
And it's made of like...
And it had a braided cable.
Yeah.
So, with a rubber coating around the cable. So it's metal, rubber, and then that rubber cable is stiff enough that it kind of whips around a lot better.
Yeah, she likes it.
It makes the toys a lot more lively, and oh my god, she loves it.
Yes.
I guarantee that if there were birds around here, Lydia would be bringing them to our doorstep.
Well, if she were an outdoor cat.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Because she will bite that toy so softly in her mouth and just walk off like nothing happened. And I'm like, oh my god, she's a killer.
Yeah. She really likes to...
If we had mice, gone.
Yeah. We get monthly pest control at our apartment. That's just one of the amenities that they offer. And first of all...
Actually, monthly?
Yeah. Our apartment complex is so good about, like, we say we're gonna do this is in your lease, it's getting done. Like, sure, they hire out to get it done, which I don't give a fuck, you know?
I don't expect the maintenance man to mix chemicals for pest control, because I always watch them mixing the chemicals out there, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, but, like, they may hire out, so yes, it may get canceled sometimes, but they come the next week, you know? They're great about everything.
Same with grass. If they don't come out one day, they're out there the next.
Yeah, and when Cameron broke our tub, he broke the wall.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell, but when I was picking myself up from the tub, I had placed my hand on the tiled wall, and my fucking hand went through the wall, and the tile just broke.
Yeah, and so I wake up because I hear it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I go right back to sleep. Because I take it where I can get it. I waited for an intruder to come around the corner. One never did. Went right back to sleep.
Said the dogs wasn't in the bed, so
the dogs didn't bark. That's always my sign that I can go back to sleep. So anyway, the maintenance man came out and he was like, I'm gonna get this fixed up. And he was like, bye. How did this happen? And I showed him how it happened, and he was like, oh, never seen it happen like that. Anyway, it's getting fixed. He fixed it within the week. There were multiple steps that had to be done. Waterproofing, drywall fix, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like he could have done it in one day, but he did come every single day to get it fixed. So that was great. But yeah, they're just a great apartment complex. So sometimes when they do pest control, there are bugs that come out. And that's just the nature of living in an apartment. It's never going to be 100% bug-free because you can't control what your downstairs neighbor does. You can't control what the neighbor to the right of you does, the left. You could be the cleanest person in the world and still see a bug every now and then. You know what I mean?
Bugs are bugs.
And there's a lot of spiders and flies in this area. So,
oh my god, the amount of flies in this area is insane.
Yes. It is crazy. Like, you cannot dine al fresco because there will be flies.
Yeah.
Multiple flies in your fucking beans.
In the next month, there are going to be so many flies in Wichita Falls.
Oh my god.
Every business just has fly tape hanging because of how bad the issue is.
Yeah.
It's just a common thing. It's not like they're horse flies, so they're not biting you.
Yeah, they are pretty fucking big.
They are pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
But it's just like, why are there so many flies? There's no good reason either.
I don't know.
It's not like there's a crazy dump near the town,
no.
or there's, like, rotting. It's just...
There's just a lot of flies.
Yeah, random amount of flies.
Yeah.
In October and September time.
Yeah, so it's just like, what the fuck? But she will fucking chase down a fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my god, Cameron. A few weeks ago there was a wasp that got in. We also get a lot of wasps. Not like in our apartment necessarily. We found 3 ever in our apartment, and they kind of just like come in on us, like they'll land on us when we're walking the dog or whatever.
They're sneaky.
Yes, or they'll like wait by the door and then like fly in. Lydia fucking caught it.
Really?
Yes. And she fucking ate it. And I was like, Lydia!
Look,
Lydia!
if cats are smart enough that if it had something, she wouldn't have eaten it.
She ate it in 2 bites.
Yeah, so she knows what's up.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, Lydia? She surprises me every goddamn day. Every goddamn day, I'm like, I'll turn around and she's doing something, I'm like, what the fuck?
You also haven't had a cat in a really long time.
And all the cats I've had, let's be so for real, were for really lazy. Like, the old owner of Lydia kept saying she was like a lazy cat and that she didn't care for anything, and I'm like, dude... let me tell you.
That lady is either the worst liar ever, or she made Lydia so depressed that she didn't do anything.
And Lydia gets
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that lady had depressed Lydia so much that she didn't let her do anything. Because one of the stipulations when getting her was not to spank your cat. And it's like, first of all, who's catching a cat to spank it?
Yeah, no.
Like, what? And, just having Lydia around, it's like, I think the previous owner spanked her.
Yeah, she's very skittish, especially, like, if... You can tell when an animal's been abused, because, like, you'll go to pet them, and
they kind of flinch.
Yeah, and if you get too close to, like, their behind, if they've been spanked on their behind a lot, they'll move, like, really quickly. And you could just tell, right? And she does that still. And I'm like, Lydia, I love you. And I send her all these mind messages. You know, I just look at her.
We like talking with our animals.
Yeah.
They're our family.
Yeah. It's very good to speak to your animals, just, like, looking at them and being like, Gary, my day-to-day fucking sucked. And they'll listen to you, and they like to be talked to, and it really does help with the bond, and it helps with them, their just general overall feeling.
Plus, it helps them learn English.
Yeah. But Lydia, when we got her, she was covered in hair. And now, like, we brush her, and it's a few hairs that come off, of course. You know, she sheds. She's a cat, of course, she sheds a little bit. Not by any means. There could have been another fucking cat coming off of her with how much hair there was. So she was never brushed. She was getting spanked. You know, and of course, like, an animal's not going to be their own personality if they're in a bad environment.
They're on survival mode. They're not in let me be me mode.
Yeah. And so now, like, when they say that she was lazy, I was like, that's fucking crazy, because she just jumped on my stove. Like, she came to our house, Lydia did, and we were deciding on a new name for her, and I thought Lydia, because I was like, we're not keeping that name for her, especially if they've already prefaced that she was abused. Like, no, we'll make it a little similar, a little different. She caught on immediately. And I was like, I told the foster cat worker, I told her, I was like, we're thinking about changing her name, but keeping it with something with an L. And I was like, she goes, Lydia. And I was like, oh my god, that was what we were saying in PetSmart. But
and then also she agreed to, because she was like, I don't want y'all to call her by her other name. And we were like, oh yeah, we were already thinking of a different name.
Yeah, and so, like, she is such an active cat. She is so pretty. She loves playing.
She's that girl.
Yeah, she's that girl. She is girly pop. Like, she is the epitome of girly pop. And I love her so much, and she knows it. And she is just like me, and Gary is just like me. Both of my animals.
Yes.
Just like me. Billy is also my animal, but he's like Cameron. He takes after Cameron so much.
He's way more like me.
Yeah.
And he loves me. I feel like I'm his person.
Yeah, definitely.
He definitely is like, hey, daddy!
He's very excited to see you.
But
however,
that doesn't mean that he's not like, Mom!
And also with Lydia, he acts the same way with everybody.
He just loves everybody.
He acts the same exact way, and I'm not trying to take that from you, because I know Cynthia will be all over you.
Definitely.
But,
the brother and sister.
Yeah, so Cynthia's gonna be there for my book release.
Aww.
Yeah, so, like, both of my animals that, like, take after me and want to be all over me all the time, they are both so similar, and that's why I think Gary doesn't like her so much, because, like, Gary has always been used to me and him all the time, and I feel kind of bad sometimes, and I do give Gary days where it's just me and Gare, because I know he misses it. I know he loves me. We sleep together every night. Me, Billy, well, every time I sleep. Me, Billy, and Lydia, and Gary all sleep together in the bed. Mm-hmm. And they're always, Gary likes the right side. He doesn't like the left side. Billy likes the left side. Lydia likes sleeping by my head on the left side. So... It's great. I love it. I love it so much.
I get locked into my...
Yes, I do.
In my sleeping position
yes.
at night.
So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I do just want to remind you that I will have advanced reader copy applications up, and that will be announced on my Ko-fi, as well as my Instagram, my Twitter, my Threads, my Facebook, and YouTube, and TikTok. I think that's all of them. But all of those are under Zoe Writes Books or Zoe Bell-Kanapaux, author for Facebook. And if you're not aware of what an advanced reader copy is, it's basically a copy that you get as a reader for free, and it's meant for a review. You don't have to, because that is illegal to say, like, you have to do it. Or paying for reviews in any way is illegal, so I don't pay for reviews. If people say, I want to review your book, I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. And then sometimes people do go, they're like, so you owe me actually $50, and I'm like, actually, I don't, because you said I want to review your book, is it okay if I post a review? And I said yes. And you bought a copy of it, which is great, thank you for buying a copy. I don't owe you $50. No one owes you for a review, right? I don't expect reviews from my readers. I just don't. But I'm hoping to gain quite a few reviews for my advanced reader copies going out. I would like to get at least 50 signups, so that way it will be narrowed down quite a bit, because, I want to make sure that this is something that I can afford all the way through. And those will go out in mid-October. And then, on October 30th, double feature will release. The hardcover, the paperback, the ebook, and the audiobook will release, as well as some exclusive merch on my Ko-fi. It's going to be like button pins, stickers, there's going to be a few crocheted blankets, a bunch of cool stuff. A bunch of really, really cool stuff. So you're not going to want to miss it. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, you can go over to my Ko-fi at www.ko-fi.com/Zoe Writes Books to read the first chapter of Double Feature. You got anything you want to say?
No, I don't have any plugs. Yeah. Peace. See y'all next time.
Peace, love, and titties. Klaus.